You hear the term AI thrown around constantly, right? But what does it actually mean? Are we talking about the thing on your phone that gives you directions, or the algorithm that knows exactly what movie you want to watch next? Or is it something bigger? You see, there's this massive gap between the AI we have right now and the AI we see in the movies. And today, we're going to close that gap.
Yeah, it really all comes down to this one big question. Is the AI we're using today just a really, really fancy power tool? Something we pick up to get a job done faster? Or are we looking at the beginning of something totally different? A new kind of mind?
And to figure that out, we've got to tackle what some people call the terminology gap. It sounds a bit technical, but it's simple, really. By the time we're done here, you'll know the two main types of AI like the back of your hand. And that's going to help you make sense of not just where we are today, but where this whole thing is probably going. All right, so let's start with what's real, right now. The AI that you and I interact with pretty much every day. This is the world of what we call artificial narrow intelligence, or ANI for short. So what is ANI? Well, the easiest way to get your head around it is to think of it as a super specialist. I mean, it's an AI that's built and trained to do one very specific thing and do it insanely well. Think about an AI that's a chess grandmaster, or one that can generate unbelievable images from text, or even one that can figure out how proteins fold. Amazing, right? But here's the catch. It's totally stuck in that one lane. So how does it actually do that? Well, it's not thinking the way you and I do. Not even close. At its heart, ANI is just an incredible pattern matching machine. It chews through these gigantic mountains of data to find statistical connections, and then it makes a really, really good guess about what should come next. That's why it can write a poem about heartbreak that sounds amazing. It's seen millions of examples. But does it feel heartbreak? Does it understand it? Nope, not at all. And because it's all about patterns, it has a couple of big limitations. The first one is that it's, well, brittle. That same AI that's a chess genius, it would be completely clueless if you asked it for business strategy advice. The skills just don't carry over. And the second thing, it's basically a tool. It needs a human, yep, that's you, to be the pilot. You have to give it prompts, check its work, and tell it where to go. It's a fantastic co-pilot for sure, but it absolutely cannot fly the plane by itself. Okay, so that's the super specialized AI of today. But what about the AI we dream about? The mind of tomorrow? Let's totally shift gears and dive into the holy grail of AI research, artificial general intelligence, AGI. Now, AGI is the complete opposite of that specialist we were just talking about. It's a true generalist. We're talking about a system, still theoretical by the way, that could learn and reason and use its intelligence for any mental task a person can do. Think about it like this. It's the difference between an AI that can just translate a sentence and one that actually gets the cultural jokes and the subtle hints in that same conversation. Big difference. So, what would it actually take to get there? Well, the experts point to 4 key things that would make AGI, well, AGI. First is something called transfer learning. Just imagine an AI learning all about music theory and then using those ideas to design a building. Wild, right? Second is reasoning and logic. This means it could think through a totally new problem from scratch. Third is autonomous goal formation. Instead of waiting for you to tell it what to do, it would actually find problems on its own and map out a plan to solve them. And last but definitely not least is few-shot learning. The ability to see just one photo of a giraffe and get what a giraffe is, instead of needing to see millions of them like today's AIs do. All right, so we've got the narrow tools of today over here and this super smart general minds of tomorrow way over there. But what about the space in between? What's the bridge that's connecting them? Well, that's exactly where we are, right now. We are currently living in what you could call the era of agentic AI, and this is a whole new type of system that's acting as that bridge. It's taking us past being just simple tools, even though we're not quite at that general mind destination yet. In these agents, they can do some seriously cool stuff. You could give one a complicated goal, like, hey, find the top 5 electric cars out there and pop the info into a spreadsheet for me. And it can actually make a plan, search the web, read through articles, and use other software to get that whole workflow done. But, and this is a huge but, here's what's missing: persistent memory. It's like talking to someone who completely forgets your entire history together the second you switch topics. That's where these agents are today. They don't have a continuous, growing memory of the world or of you. Okay, so we've got the definitions down, we see how things are evolving, but why does any of this matter? Why is the difference between ANI, these agents, and AGI so important? Because let me tell you, the implications are absolutely massive. And if you remember one thing from all this, make it this. The AI we have today, ANI, it automates tasks. It can draft an email for you. It can whip up an image for your slides. It can crunch the numbers on a data set. But AGI, a real AGI, wouldn't just automate tasks, it would automate entire roles. It's the difference between an AI that helps you write a press release and an AI that is your entire marketing department. Think about that.
And this chart here really just lays it all out plain and simple. Just check out the learning row. AI needs these gigantic, almost unimaginable amounts of data to learn something. But a true AGI, it could learn from just a handful of examples, maybe even just one. I mean, that is a complete game changer. And look at the shift from reactive, just sitting there waiting for a prompt, to proactive, where the AI is actually figuring out what needs to get done on its own. That changes the entire equation.
Which, of course, brings us to the biggest debate raging in the AI world right now. It's called the scaling wall. Basically, you've got two main groups of thought. Camp number one thinks that if we just keep making our current AIs bigger, just throw more data, more computer power at them, they'll eventually just wake up and be AGI. But camp number two, they think we've hit a dead end, that no matter how much bigger we make them, it's not going to be enough. They say we need a totally new idea, a genuine breakthrough in how we build AI to get to the next level. And the crazy part is, right now, nobody really knows who's right. So as we're looking ahead to that future, what's a good way to think about this whole journey? Well, there's a really powerful metaphor that helps put the ultimate goal into perspective. The AI we have today, it's a mimic. A really, really good one, don't get me wrong. It can copy the patterns of our language, our art, our logic with just jaw-dropping accuracy. But AGI would be a mirror. It wouldn't just be copying our homework. It would actually reflect the process behind it all. The consciousness, the learning, the creativity, the very things that make us intelligent to begin with. And that, of course, leaves us with one last, pretty deep question to ponder. If we actually manage to build that mirror, a real, true artificial general intelligence, what are we going to see looking back at us? Will it be the best parts of humanity, the worst, or maybe something we can't even imagine yet? The answer to that question, well, it might just define everything that comes next.